When did you get like this? When did this mindset hit you?
I think it's just always been. You just kind of sometimes,
It was new?
No, it's just you. When it's something like this, it's easy. I can't even say easy. It's whenever there's something that you want and then people are telling you not to do. It just clicks sometimes. You just have to be the type of person that just never quits on it.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Brayant from LLOWtv. Welcome you to the first interview. I got a very special guest here today. But before we get into that, don't forget to check us out on social media via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the fuck you use. Got my boy Jon Harris here today. What's good?
What up?
How you doing?
Chilling on this cloudy day, but still a nice view though.
Cloudy but beautiful. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about today. Shit, man, where do you want to start?
How are you, man?
All right, let's get right into the music. How about that?
Music? Oh, see this? It takes my question and just throws it out. Damn, I said how you. All right.
Oh, you said how me? My bad,
yeah,
my bad.
How are you?
Bro, how you, how me, how we, I don't know. Fucking.
Like,
shit,
I know
man.
I'm cold. It's like,
cold?
I always have my jacket. I really should be wearing something heavy, but, like, I know I'm cold, so how are you? You got this nice jacket, though.
I'm chilling, bro. Big chilling.
But yeah, no, let's go. What's up?
Let's talk about the music. Where's the music at?
Music. I'm just working behind the scenes, trying to get, I guess, stuff done. We had a few hiccups last year. I think 2020 is gonna be where it's at.
All right, okay. Where's the hiccups?
Where?
Or
What do you mean?
What do you mean by hiccups? So to say.
Just like certain things that kind of where you have like a timeline of certain things and certain events that you want to happen. Certain pieces of it kind of, I don't want to say messed up because I didn't mess up or there weren't any specific mess ups, but certain events happened that kind of halted for a second, and we had to worry about that and figure that out before we could get to the actual to get back on track.
Okay. And when you say we, who you talking about?
I mean we in general. I'm defining, I guess, the word hiccup, or not the word hiccup, but the meaning of how I used it. So when I say we, I just mean we, like as artists, we as people.
Okay.
Like as in general, but in this specific instance, it was just me that was worrying about this stuff.
Okay.
As an artist.
Now, the reason I brought up music first is because that's how it's all started, right? Started with music.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to a big company, right?
Trying
to move
make
on.
it. So, yeah.
And what does this company offer? What does it do? Who is the company?
Well, the company is LLOW Entertainment. LLOW stands for it's LLOW, and it stands for Living Life Our Way Entertainment. And we just focus on pretty much just any way that people can find entertainment on a day-to-day basis is something we will potentially jump into, a potential industry that we're going to try to jump into to I guess in a sense find the faults in it and find our place in it and see how we can make that industry better in our own way. So like as of right now, we're working on the music end of it, and then we have a few ideas and few ways few industries that we're gonna try to dive into in the upcoming future, the near future.
Okay, so we got started with music. You get the company. Where did the company come about? Why did this idea just plop?
All right, so I was in college. I started to give you like a quick rundown of because like I feel like a lot of it is important. Is that I started making music not knowing how to make music, so I kind of learned everything that I know and almost self-taught everything. And then I got to this point where in college, because I actually started in high school. Then when I got to college, that was when I was like, all right, now I'm trying to make my big break. And the thing that got me the most frustrated was that as I was trying to get into all of these record labels, and I literally went to probably all the big major labels that you could think of. I did all of my research. I called, I emailed, I mailed, and it was like, none of them wanted to hear it. None of them wanted to listen. None of them, like, I would even took a no, but they didn't even want to listen to it. So the best way that somebody spoke to me on it was that they kind of have like a mail room. So like you send all of your stuff and they throw it in a mail room that it pretty much dies. Nobody ever looks at. And that kind of frustrated me. And I was like, all right, you know what, if nobody's going to help, if nobody wants to even listen to help me, then I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to create my own company to put myself on. And then just kind of like, as I saw the potential for me and how it was helping me out, I thought about how it could actually help people who are also in my predicament, who, major labels, they want people who are already successful. So the people who may not, we can go for somebody who already has like a bunch of downloads, a bunch of views, a bunch of streams and all that, but we won't forget about the people who have the actual talent but may not have the amplifier to get to the people that they want to. So that's essentially how it started.
Where does that drive come from?
I feel like drive in itself is something either people have, or like you either you have it or you don't. And it's not necessarily like you're either born with it or not, but like anything, if people don't have a drive for something, that's because they don't have enough of an interest in it. So like one day you'll find something that you are so interested in that you develop that drive for that. And for me, music is kind of like the spark, but it's, I think, success that ultimately kind of is the driving force. Like, I understand, you fail, and I've definitely had my my failures in getting to where I am, but I think the ultimate success is what is driving me, and I need to succeed. And then as I see this company growing, it's like the number one thing for me now is that this company has to succeed.
What's the ultimate success? You use that phrase.
I guess establishment, and being established as a well-recognized company, and somebody who's a major player in any industry that we get into. So kind of like Apple. So you look at Apple. Apple started out as the computer company, and then it's like once they hit the phone company, they became a presence. They became a presence in that, and like that's the kind of company I would want. That like if we get into, let's say we're doing music, and then we plan on doing film next, and we have like other industries. So like let's say we're like, we want to start making video games. The strength of them knowing, wow, LLOW Entertainment, they're getting into the gaming industry based off of their music and their film and the other stuff that they've already done. And we know that it's great already, that we know this game's gonna be great. The games that they develop is gonna be great.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So not just like be at the table, but like in a sense take over the table, be the head seat at the table.
Not necessarily. It's not about taking over. It's just about being recognized.
Okay.
So like, I'd want it to be that when we get to that table, that we're not. I don't mind being an outcast, but it's a matter of like who's this guy? What are they doing here?
Yeah.
It's when we sit down, it's like oh shit, like oh, we got this guy here at the table now. And even at that, when we get to the table, to like use your metaphor, when we get to the table, it's like everybody at the table knows, wow, this table just got better because they're Low Entertainment's now on here.
Okay. I see it. Now here comes the dreaded question of all time. Where do you see the company in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20? How big does this get?
You know what's funny? I don't really like that question.
It's the worst question. It's the fucking worst question.
No, but not for that reason. I don't like that question because I'm somebody who I've always like that's dealing too much with like hypotheticals, and I'm somebody who I like to deal with facts. So it's like based on the facts now, like I only have so much facts that me saying it is just like where do you hope that it is, you know? It's like where do you see the company? And I'm also realistic, so I can't really speak to it so much. But if I were to try to answer that question as truthful as possible, I would say that definitely music, definitely film, and definitely making more money than we are making today. So I hope we have an interview in 5 years and those three statements are at the very least true.
Shit, bro. I mean, you put it out there, it'll definitely happen, right? So they say. What other industries? Was video games just an example, or is that an avenue? Is there any limit to?
It's always a potential. I mean, I know I've had ideas, but once again, like each industry that we get into, it's like we have to learn. So, and right now, not to sound overworked, but like right now my palette is full with doing music and then continuing to learn music, and then also we're doing filming, and I'm at like the very beginner stage of it, so like I also have to learn that too. So to get into video games, I would have to learn that industry. So what the model is for the company is that I'm definitely interested. So like me as a film, like I'm definitely interested, and I have great ideas for film. But at the same time, it's not about me, it's about the company, and the company might find, you know, a guy over, you know, somewhere who already has interest, and he might not have that. He might not have that that backup. So then that's where my company comes through. Because my company comes, and then the company will come and say, hey, you know, I know that you're a filmmaker, and I know you're passionate about it. Let me help you in making that film, and then we'll just be part producers on it. So like we'll be, you know, the amplifier for that industry. So like if it's somebody who wants to make a game, they already have their idea, they have how like their budget and all that, and we come in, how can we help you? So it may not even be me that makes the first game or me that makes the first film.
Yeah.
It's the company helping somebody else live their dream and then making their creation. So like I couldn't really tell you. I meet somebody, or any of my people meet somebody who like is in another industry, and they're like, hey, you know, I have this great idea, and they bring it to me. They bring it to me, and I think it's a great idea too, and I think it's something that we actually can put a foot in and say, you know, hey, we can help you out. Then hey, you know.
Do you feel comfortable being in this leadership role, and why?
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't want to, you know, I don't want to sound cocky, and like as I was like thinking about what I was just about to say, it sounds super arrogant, but you know, I always feel comfortable leading, and it's because my personal view on it is, you know, I always bring it up to this analogy that there's Indians and chiefs, right? You know the analogy, and not everybody is an Indian and not everybody's a chief, and I view myself more as a chief. Like there are times when I can play the Indian role, but I view myself as a chief. So I view myself as somebody who I prefer less to take orders from somebody rather than be the one making the ideas and being the one who has the power to implement the ideas. So like, it's not, I said take orders, but it's not necessarily taking orders. That sounds very like, I don't know, destructive. But it's like, if I have an idea and I'm one of the people who don't have the power to implement it, I could go to you and you're my boss and I'm like, hey, I have this great idea, and you just look at it and laugh. Great example. The SpongeBob episode, the SpongeBob episode where he makes the colorful patties, and he went and he had a great idea.
Yeah.
He had a great idea, and the leader thought it was stupid, and they just clowned him for it. And then he was like they just shunned him for his idea.
Right,
then
yeah.
It turned out that his idea was such a great idea and great success. If that leader were to just give him a chance, they all could have won.
Deep message in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
That's a great episode too, actually, thinking about it.
But yeah, no. So, I always prefer to be the person in charge of making decisions and stuff like that, if I can. I also don't believe in, false power. So,
But yeah.
don't sit here and tell me that, like, hey, you're a supervisor, and hey, you're a boss, and it's like, it's all for show, and like, really, you're just like a figurehead. I hate that.
Yeah. Favorite Kanye line has to one of my favorite Kanye lines has to be, "Who's the real owner if your boss gets a salary?" Just hit you with like a little right there. But
Yeah.
definitely. How did this shit? Damn, I feel like you just went off on a tangent there. That just like it had me deep in thought, in the sense that, like, shit, I feel like that could be a leadership quality as well that you have, that you just like, you say things and it makes people think beyond their natural thought of just like, oh yeah, so like, think big, so to speak.
But I think that is a good. I think that's a good quality, not in just like a leader, and just anybody that, like, you inspire people to think, and not only to think, but you inspire people to speak and communicate their thoughts. Like, a lot of people, kind of discourage that,
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
and then you get into a society where people might have great ideas and innovations and stuff, and they feel too embarrassed.
Shut
like
down.
it's not even a matter of like they know they can, or it's like they don't even want to try or even want to speak it, because it's like they're afraid of what you might think.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that back to the whole Apple thing?
Mm-hmm.
Their slogan, "Think different." Am I wrong?
I guess it's interpretation. I would interpret it slightly different, but like that's
Well,
just
is that their slogan?
yeah, think
Right.
different.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's their specific. I don't want to go on record saying that. I'm not fully sure. I know it was for.
Okay.
I know it was their slogan for the Macintosh, but
Okay.
the way I think of that is kind of like the jumping into like industries and stuff like that, and like you, no matter what you do, you have a competitor. There's always somebody who's competing with you. But instead of Apple focusing on, man, they're doing this, let me do that better, it's how can we do that differently.
Yeah,
They're not necessarily focused too much on other people and other companies. They're focused on them and how they can make whatever industry they're in better, so to speak.
Do you want to cut for a second? All right, so we out here, right? Beautiful view. Here with John still. Shit, man. What's been going on lately?
I don't know, just working. So, I'm working hard on the music, working hard on just learning the other industries, trying to get stuff done.
How does that day-to-day process go by? How does that like work out?
Well, it's a matter of just I guess, you know what it is, every day to me is like, it's different. So it's hard to like, I guess the best way to say it would be, I try to schedule different times to do different things.
Okay.
And I don't try to fit everything in one day to say, like, I wake up, I eat, then I work on music, then, you know, I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym, by the way. But like that, I feel like that's something everybody always says. Like, I wake up, I go to the gym. But you know, I don't do everything in one day. So like one day I might work on music, and I don't even, that's just generalized. Like, I might work on a beat, or I might work on part of a beat and tweak certain things. And then I also might figure out, man, I need to get some stuff for the company, man, I need to do stuff for the company, man, I need to think of ideas for the company. Sometimes I just sit there and I'm thinking. I'm not even like writing songs or anything. I'm just, you know, thinking about letting my mind wander and figuring out like great ideas.
Is that would you consider that like more of like a sporadic routine? Because you are, I guess, essentially like doing the same things just in a different pattern. Not really, not to say it's not organized, but fuck, I can't remember the word I was looking for. It's like it's a certain name for it. It's a certain pattern.
I have no idea.
Yeah, shit.
I can't
Goddamn.
can't help you.
Goddamn. That's where my brain's at. No, but I find myself doing like, I'll say it a lot too. You wake up, fucking, you do your routine. You do the same shit. I feel like Squidward sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Back to SpongeBob. Just wake up, work, die, repeat. You know what I mean? Shit. That's good though. That's good. What's your inspiration? Where does the inspiration come from in music?
Music, specifically, it comes from just, it could come from anything. Music, it's art, you know. Where does any artist get their inspiration from? They just kind of, to quote Steve Jobs, anybody who creates is really just connecting the dots. So like, you see something and it just triggers something and you're like, man, and you just kind of create from that.
He said that?
He said the connect the dots piece, yeah.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I do the same shit sometimes. Where like I'll see something artistic, and I was like, oh shit, what if you just put this with it, like, you know, type shit. Or like it just inspires an idea, and that's why like back to the whole leadership thing. It's like sometimes you get a thought and someone can like help that thought out just by like merely speaking their mind on it.
Absolutely. I think that's to make a great leader, especially since to make a great leader, I just my mind went into like 8 different conversations and like 8 different ways. But to make a great leader, I think that you definitely need to like be open to like listening. And I was gonna, as I was thinking that, I was thinking like, just like how many people kind of sit there, because we all have bosses. Like, there's nobody who didn't have somebody they reported to at some point in their life. And it's like, I just thought about it, how like, you know, you criticize this person until you get the power. Once you get the power, you turn into a piece of shit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not necessarily that everybody does, but like, I feel like the potential's there, and like, that's crazy.
The potential to be a piece of shit?
As a boss, yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're sitting there, you're like, man, yo, that boss, yo, he's doing this, he's doing that, and then next thing you know, you get promoted, and then it's like, you kind of sit there and forget all the complaints that you had.
Yeah.
Now you got the power, so you're like, nigga, I'm the fucking boss.
Hypocritical people and shit like that.
That's honestly, that's one of the
It's hard.
worst people I hate, is people who are hypocritical. And the crazy part is, we're all hypocrites.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's what's mind-blowing.
Yo, I was actually thinking about your line last week. One of my favorite lines by you. People are people, and they always will be.
You know what's funny?
You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? And I gotta I don't want to say come clean, but like, like people would know me for that line, but I actually got that from my mother. She actually
Okay.
says that a lot. Like you'll be like, man, yo, like how could that person do that? And like her line was, people are people. Yeah.
Simple as shit. Concepts. People are people. How's the rest of the line go? People are people, and they always will be. Sometimes more. No. Sometimes less.
Never.
Sometimes more.
Never more, sometimes less.
Never more, sometimes less.
And it fucking kills me.
And it fucking kills me. Finish it for me. I can't remember the rest.
I know what song it is, and it's gonna bug me. I don't know. It's not coming through. That's Quid Pro Quo.
Yeah. You know why I thought of that? I was actually, bro, we'll get into the whole more music thing from your aspect. I was listening to my GOAT, Lil Wayne. He dropped Funeral, what is it, yesterday? He dropped Funeral yesterday. It's the 31st. And I'm like, fuck, shit's garbage. Straight up, sorry, Lil Wayne. Garbage.
I wasn't expecting that.
Bro, so I'm like, all right, let me check out, all these other little niggas, little floppy dick, everybody else, little toenail. Shout out to Little Toenail. He's a real person. Fucking everything was just trash. Everything that dropped yesterday was trash. And if you dropped yesterday, you trash. But I'm listening to it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a different genre, like open-mindedness. You gotta really take an art for what it is. I go to alternative, I go to indie, I go to rock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on alternative, and I see, I think it's a band called Quid Pro Quo, or they dropped a tape called that. I was like, oh shit, people are people. And I went back to it.
I'm about to say, tell me,
like,
tell
that's
me,
how it all
tell me
connected
you stole
the
my
dots.
line. I thought that's where you were going with that. Like, yo, you just said people are people. I was like, yo, wait, what?
Yeah, sometimes you see shit and it just brings you
out.
back. Facts, bro. Get those lawyers ready. Sign some papers. Yeah. But inspiration from you, musically, you always quoted Eminem to be one of the top guys. You fuck with the new album?
Yeah, no, of course. When it comes to my big four, I put them at a spot because I guess you would call it still, I guess, inspiration. But like what I do is I will listen to literally their whole catalog before and continuously during my process. So like, Eminem, Kanye, Jay-Z, and J. Cole, and I'll listen to like their whole catalog. And I guess that's where that would come from, as me saying, Eminem specifically. He's like a huge part of just like, I guess, me as a writer and starting out.
Is that the first rapper you got into?
No.
Where did it start? The first rapper that put you on the rap. I already got mine.
First rapper that put me on to rap. I don't really know. I'd probably say the first like whole album that I actually knew was Godson.
Okay.
I'd probably say that.
Mine was Luda. He had the fucking throwback. You gotta go back to those YouTube videos, but great fucking MTV videos. Remember the fucking one with the giant fist? Move, bitch. Get back. You on the Red Light District album?
Yeah, no, that the one with the big fist was
Whoop whoop. Are you all in my ear? Talking a whole lot of shit that I don't want to hear.
That.
And man, Ludacris used to be my favorite rapper for like a short stint. Then obviously 50 Cent, Eminem, the whole Aftermath wave. It comes in waves, I feel like. Aftermath had theirs Big Shine, went to Young Money. Who else was out there? I mean, Rock Nation, obviously.
Rockefeller first.
Rockefeller, my bad. Shit, yeah. More inspiration comes from outside of the music, right? You mentioned Steve Jobs a lot. You said you get inspiration from certain select people. You mentioned Steve Jobs a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Steve Jobs is honestly, like, I would say my life idol. Going about just like when I think of as a person, I look at the good qualities for Steve Jobs, because obviously, you could pick out, toxic qualities in everybody, but I would definitely say for life and for entrepreneurship, definitely Steve Jobs is an Apple is the focus on who I look at.
Anyone else?
In life, I would say people who I couldn't necessarily like speak to the personality trait that they have, because it's a specific personality trait, kind of, and I can't think of it, but like definitely people who were able to like, who are on like a mental, I guess, mental state and a mental vibe and like mental success rather than like physical success. So
right.
Like I would always tell people, like, I don't necessarily admire like the typical rappers, and like if I do, it's not for what like other people admire them for. So like people who have like chains and stuff and like try to show that they got money, or people who even just have money, they're like, yo, I got money, like that's not something to like admire. But like the Bill Gates and like of the world, and like just like his way of thinking, and like people who do, they like think different, and like that kind of stuff.
That's why I fuck with Cole. Niggas been wearing the same white t-shirt for the past 3 years. Gave up all the chains, the diamonds.
But see, like, what is money? What is money?
Money ain't shit. Money is currency, an exchange.
Yeah.
That's when it comes down to it, and after that, it becomes the battle of
exactly
battle of the minds of what money is.
Yeah. So it's like money, and the problem with it is that money is so no, not money. People are so corruptible with money, and it's like a psychological. It has a psychological hold on people, that they put so much power in what money is.
Yeah. That
it's like the more money somebody has, the more they think they're the shit. And it's like at that point, like when you have that kind of mind state, it's like you're poor in a sense.
Right. Yeah. Why do you think that? Why do you think money has that power? Diving deep. We're going deep real quick.
Because of what I guess like it represents. So like if you have $1, if I gave you $1, you have nothing else. You just have that $1. What can you get with that $1? Food. Where? What kind of food?
Food, water.
Water for $1?
Yeah, you can get water for $1, which is bullshit, because water shouldn't cost money. It's in the do we pay for air? Kinda, actually.
You see how small that list is?
Right.
Versus
sure.
if I were to be like, here's $100 billion, then it's like you feel like you can buy anything you want. You feel like, and I think that's what people associate with money, is that like they pretty much have anything they ever could want, they could get. And it's like
through the idea of money.
The funny thing is too, the things that are probably most important, not to sound cliche, is like is the things that like money can't buy, you know.
For sure. For sure. How did we even get to this topic?
You asked me like who I admire, and I was like, I don't admire people who like feel the need to flaunt the money, flaunt like, you know, the success, and flaunt anything.
Yeah. For me too, actually, I had to like recently look up the word humble, and I couldn't even give you the definition right now. But humble is definitely not a fitting word to, like, because we live in a world of opposites. So it's like, oh, if he's not cocky, he's humble. Or just like, damn, I don't even know where I'm trying to go on this thought. Bring it back to money. Yeah,
no, not
I was,
even.
I was
Keep going there.
But yeah, we live in a world of opposites. So if you're not cocky, you're humble. If you're not poor, you're rich, so to speak. So, where did it start again? Yo, it started with inspiration and stuff,
and
right?
Finding humble. You were saying something about humble, and I liked where you were going with it.
Yeah.
Lost it.
Bro, I was I had the game-winning layup, and I just airballed it. God damn it.
Airballed the layup.
Yo, you ever airball a layup?
No.
Saddest thing in my life.
Absolutely
I
not.
airballed a layup one time.
I've never
just once, though. Just once. It wasn't...
Never did that.
Yo, bro, it was one of the shits where, like,
you use a backboard.
Nah, bro, I don't know what happened. I finger rolled it, and I was like, yeah, that's good. Plop. What? Gravity type shit is this?
The hoop moved.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna remember that. We'll get back to that later.
But see, like, you know what's the funny thing about humble though? It's like, is humble the middle ground? Is humble the middle ground as you're like saying it, and that like gave me the idea. Is humble the middle ground for between arrogance and, I want to say, insecurity, if that's the right word. Like
that's actually
you're not necessarily, because like humble has such a good connotation to it, whereas like I guess the opposite of arrogant would be like if you think you're good at basketball, somebody who's like, oh no, I'm so bad, I don't even want to pick it up, I'm terrible. Like that's not humble. Like you're not humble.
Right, yeah.
You're just bashing yourself.
Yeah.
So like would humble be the middle ground for it, where
Well,
it's like you're good, but you're not like bragging good.
That's funny because I just had to look up the definition just because it was there. But like,
I'm pretty sure nobody.
I mean, dude, people use the word humble. Like, yo, sit, you know, chill, be humble. Like, you know.
Comments below,
whatever.
yo.
Yeah.
What's the definition of humble? Quick.
Humble actually means to be not proud, which is crazy because people use it in a sense of like, yo, be humble, man. But why would I not be proud of?
No,
you know what I mean?
No. I was gonna say the fact that you said that is perfect because
Yeah, it fit
I
with what you're saying.
always say, love will get you killed, and pride will kill you. And pride is huge with life, and I honestly I hate prideful people.
Yeah.
Like, and no. I don't hate prideful people. Prideful people annoy me, I should say. Where, like, once again, like, I don't mean to keep using you, but like, you're walking down the street, or like anybody's walking down the street, and somebody just smacks you in the face. Like, any sort of prideful person is turning around and trying to fight this person, and like and it's just like, how worth it is it? Is it worth it that like you feel so disrespected? Granted, I can't say I wouldn't.
I can't
say I wouldn't.
A smack in the face is OD disrespectful.
But I was trying to use an extreme.
Yeah.
Me personally though, it's like, you know what? I can't say I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't.
I mean,
like, because it's not. It's like, it depends on the situation.
Right.
But,
Everything's situational.
But like that's what I'm saying, or in a sense of like something more realistic, because like not a lot of people do that, but like something more realistic. You're beefing with somebody,
Yeah.
and like, not even more realistic than that is boxing. Let's use boxing and like MMA and stuff. Like, you're sitting there going back and forth. Oh, like, yo, I'm gonna beat you up. Oh, at the end of this round, and you talk wild. There's only one winner in that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and what happens? What happens if you're the one that hits the canvas and gets that 10 count? Like going against certain people, like you sit here in like the early 90s, even though I was born in the early 90s, but you sit here and have me the way I am right now. I'm sitting here, welterweight champion, undefeated, and then you're like, yo, you trying to go up against Mike Tyson? Huh? What? But like a prideful person would be like, yo, I'm on top of the world. I'm undefeated.
Right. Yeah.
Homie can't hold me. Or somebody who's equally undefeated, and it's people, I guess, could chalk it up to, competitiveness and all that, but no, like pride to me is like one of the worst. It's actually, 7 deadly sins, but
Well, I was gonna say pride and ego are definitely like very hurt. Where the fuck that coming from, bro? I didn't even see a boat go by.
there was a boat,
Yeah?
but that's probably not from the boat because the boat's not here. I don't know.
See, I love it though, because this kind of examples like the opposites I was saying. How you can have water is a great example of like opposites and shit, where like it can just be calm and still, and then at any moment there can be crashing waves, which is the opposite, right? It's loud, it's hitting you, and then eventually like everything's a cycle and it just all comes back to just like the balance between both calm and still and like loud and loud and abrupt, I guess. Not that has anything to do with humbleness and pride, but yeah, shit, man.
You tried to use that as a metaphor. That's
well, no, I was gonna say too. I like that we were talking about people that like was just like
That's
idolizing.
a terrible example, by the way, of pride. I did not do my thought justice.
It's all good.
I feel like I just Kanye'd it right there. Like I just went on a rant without thinking about what I was saying, and now that I actually had time to think about it,
As some people call it, word vomiting. Just throw it all up and see if anything good comes out of it. What the fuck? That shit's mad bright. That shit just blinded me and I saw it over there. Like, the fucking pattern. I don't know. Nah, but yeah, I feel like I think I was saying this to you last week or just somebody. There's people like R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Dr. King, Malcolm X, all these people that like, why were they such great people? They all look different. What was so special about them? And then you dive deep in like their mind. They were able to like go through these certain mental challenges and blocks and look at the world differently, think differently, and then make the change based upon the way they viewed the world.
I think yes, but I think
Or impact the world.
I was gonna say that's honestly one of like my biggest goals in just life in general. And I think I don't want it to be that it's like somebody thinks that I'm doing this just to like die and be remembered. Although my website does have the quote, something about being remembered. But not to contradict that, but I think they're important because of impact.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, Martin Luther King, he had an impact on society. Malcolm X had an impact on society. Kobe Bryant had an impact on the whole game of basketball, but not only the game of basketball, he had an impact on the lives and the mental state of the players who came before him. Like look at me. I played basketball and like I hustled as hard as I could because of Kobe. And there are a few other people that I got, certain moves and certain ideas from, but like my work ethic was from Kobe. So like, I think it's the impact that he had and the impact that all of these people have.
Word.
I say positive impact, I should say.
For sure. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I was about to say something fucked up, but I'll stop right there. I'm not gonna word vomit that.
Steve Jobs too. His impact.
Yeah.
In it's
Well,
not
is his
just
impact necessarily positive
yes.
in the long run
Absolutely.
for human society. The iPhone.
Yeah, I think his impact is more than just Tim Cook said it the best, that Steve Jobs, yes, he gave you the iPhone. Steve Jobs gave you the iPad. Steve Jobs gave you the Mac and all of this other stuff. But none of those, all of those pale in comparison to what he truly gave to the world, and what he truly, his impact to the world was Apple, and how he conducted that company. But what I meant though was, like, aside from physical, like, look at the way so many CEOs and people move about their companies. Like how many people were doing annual conferences to showcase their new technology.
Right.
Like there were showcases before that, but like a lot of the competitors of Apple are doing it, and Apple was one of the first people to do that. And like, look how people talk about their stuff. Like, you know, we have these great products, and they emphasize on certain pieces of the word the way Steve Jobs did. And
the little details, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, it's crazy.
How many places had, you know, computer stores geared towards their stuff? The Apple Store came out, then all of these other stores came out.
Windows.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily his specific products. It goes beyond just that.
For sure.
And also, you can't attest the iPhone being like the destruction of like the world, because without the iPhone, there was still the Samsung, there was still the Nokia, there was still all of these other phones.
Yeah.
So he just happened to beat them to the punch. So like, there was always going to be phones with the quality that we have the phones now.
Yeah.
It's just,
if it wasn't that, it would have been this.
It would have been later on,
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Potentially.
So, you know, you can't fault him for that. He just tried to bring the best out of, you know, everybody.
Did I send you that butterfly effect video?
No,
Damn. I gotta send you that.
you need to.
Because even with that, I don't know if he brings that up specifically, but he brings up some type of invention, or there's just certain select few people that if they didn't exist within a certain realm of time, within like those 10 minutes, the whole world could be entirely different just because.
Oh, absolutely.
So imagine if that iPhone didn't come out at that time. What would the world be like today?
Did you know? Most people don't know this. Not saying that this had a huge impact or a small impact, but it did have an impact. That World War II, when we stormed the beaches of Normandy, right? You know what that day is, right?
No.
I
don't give a
D-Day.
fuck about U.S. history.
D-Day.
I don't give a fuck about history. It's all a lie.
But so everybody was storming the beaches of Normandy, and apparently it wasn't even like that. It was necessarily unknown, and it was like a what do you call it? An ambush. It wasn't necessarily like an ambush, but there was a silent military attack.
Okay.
I don't know where it was, and what they did was they had all like these art people put together this like show where they made it seem like to the Germans they were gonna attack a whole nother beach with a whole massive army. And what that did was it caused, I don't know if it was necessarily Hitler specifically, but definitely top generals to say, hey, we need a bunch of men over on this beach because this beach is about to get attacked. Come to find out, there was no army here. So where these people were here, they could have been at Normandy fighting against the Americans and the British.
Right.
So it took a whole chunk of them out so they can just obliterate Normandy, the beaches of Normandy.
It's crazy.
So like the butterfly effect kind of thing. So it's like it's crazy that it's like certain things, certain little details have a huge lasting impact, and nobody knows about it.
Right?
These people don't go down as heroes. Well, they do go down as heroes, but they don't go down in the books. I didn't learn that in school.
I didn't learn shit in school. I learned everything outside of school. I don't know. All right.
Anything else?
It was a good interview. Thanks for showing out.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you like this video, check out some more content here. And as always, don't forget to live life your way.